Everyone dreams of living an uncommon life, and the best asset you have to achieve your dreams is you. Welcome to the Uncommon Wealth Podcast. We're going to introduce you to people who are living uncommonly. We're also going to give you some tools and strategies for building wealth and for pursuing an uncommon path that is uniquely right for you.
Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of the Uncommon Wealth Podcast, where I'm your host, Phillip Ramsey, and today we get to interview one of the luckiest people in the world who gets to deal with popcorn every day. You want to talk about uncommon? We got him. Jason Steiner is here with us with Freddie's Popcorn, and so excited for him to be on the show. He's been married for 10 years. And he's owned Freddie's Popcorn since 2022. You might know us if you're from Northeast Iowa. The Dubuque area, you probably know Freddie's Popcorn because they're kind of known around there. It's a staple, I would say. But here's what I like to start with my shows. I know Jason a little bit, and so I have 3 words for the listeners. When I think of Jason, here's the 3 words I have. You ready for this? Here we go. The first one is observant. He is observant. He knows, he just sees, he watches, and he observes. It's fun to see his wheels turning as he's observing everybody. That's fascinating to me. I love that. He's grateful, super grateful for where he's at and all the things that is in his life, even the bad things. He's grateful for those and can laugh about it. And the last one, he's easygoing. So you can tell why I like him. I'm super excited to be on the show. Jason, welcome to the show. Freddie's Popcorn, baby. Let's go.
Well, Phil, thank you for that introduction. That's amazing. I really appreciate it. So I do. My wife would disagree with the whole noticing things all the time.
Observant? Oh, interesting.
Yeah, being observant.
Okay.
You never notice things. I'm like, well, I just don't notice certain things.
Yeah, and you don't say anything because you're easygoing, but it doesn't mean that you don't observe it. I'm just going to say.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so Jason, what's your wife's name?
Tammy.
Okay. All right, I want to know the whole story behind Freddie's Popcorn. One, I don't know if the listeners know this, I love popcorn. And I've had Freddie's Popcorn, and it was freaking amazing. So there's my plug for Freddie's Popcorn. Get you some, okay? But, okay, how did you get into Freddie's Popcorn? Give me the lay of the land, and do you eat a lot of popcorn? Don't answer that. All right, give me the backstory of Freddie's Popcorn.
So the backstory of Freddie's Popcorn kind of starts out with my in-laws. So my mother and father-in-law, when I was dating my wife, before we were married, we were dating, her parents had a stand down at the Dubuque Farmers Market. And they'd been doing fresh grown tomatoes and kettle corn and caramel corn and cheese corn down at the farmers market since the early 2000s, at least, maybe in the 90s,
Wow. Way
before I ever even knew them. They've been kind of that staple down there for that, down at the Dubuque Farmers Market. And he one time he just decided this little store came up for sale called Freddie's Popcorn in Dubuque. And I actually knew the original owners of Freddie's Popcorn. They were actually from my hometown.
Really?
His name was Fred,
where?
In Cascade.
Cascade. Freddie from Cascade. Started Freddie's Popcorn.
Yep. So thing you might know about Cascade is that's where Gary Dolphin's from.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The voice of the Hawkeyes is originally grew up in Cascade.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. And then the head coach for the Creighton Blue Devils basketball team, Greg McDermott.
The Harvard of the Midwest. McDermott.
Yep. So that's Cascade's claim to fame, all 1,500 people in the town.
And Jason is also kind of a claim to fame. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll not quite. But so anyway, this little store came up for sale, and they're like, hey, we're only 60 some years old. Hey, let's go and buy this store and start a business with it.
Kudos for them. There's a lot of people who are like slowing down at 60.
Oh no,
not your in-laws, baby.
No. My father-in-law, he was charging straightforward on it. Wow. So he was, which is fantastic, and so they bought it, and I was working as a paramedic. And at the time, so I was working like a 24-48 schedule, 24 hours on, 48 hours off.
Wow.
So on my days off, I'd go up and help them because I've had some business experience before. I ran a small business of our family small business for 12 years before this.
Really? What was that?
we had an automotive repair shop. So I did undercar repair and trailer repair and like tractor tires and stuff like that. So I ran that alongside with my dad from 97 to up through 2008.
Okay.
When he sold that out. So, so then I got in the paramedic thing from there. So my journey's a little different than what this is. And my wife was working at Prudential Financial Services.
Oh yeah.
Yep. She was working there. So she'd come on like her lunch hour because it's only a couple blocks away from the store where she was working, and we'd help them out and kind of help them build the business, and we'd help them on Saturdays at the farmers market and stuff like this. So
is that how you met your wife, Tammy?
No, I met my wife on a blind date.
Oh.
I was set up on a blind date with her by her sister.
Huh. And her sister knew you?
Well, her sister met me. A buddy of mine's a chiropractor, and we were heading into Madison to go to a paddling expo, and there we did a lot of kayaking and a lot of camping, stuff like this. So we're going into an outdoor and paddling expo, and it was a Saturday morning. He's like, "Hey man, I gotta stop by the office real quickly. I gotta have a patient that's just coming in. He couldn't make it in on the day, so it's just be real quick. Just gotta give him an adjustment, and then we'll head." I'm like, "Sure, no problem. I'll hang out in the office." Yep, that was her nephew, and her sister brought him in. So as I was waiting down in the waiting room, I was talking with his sister.
Oh, yeah. And then she went home and told Tammy, like, I got this hunk. You got it. That's how that worked.
Yeah, this guy that showed up 15 minutes late to our first date.
Yeah, this is so good. Okay, sorry, that was a tangent, but it's super important to me.
Yeah.
And maybe nobody else, but I love it. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
So where was I? Oh, yeah. So we kind of helped them out with that in 22. They're kind of decided, they've been through COVID and the whole COVID thing, and they're getting up there in age, and they're like, I think we're just done. They wanted to pass it on. So I looked at Tammy, and things have changed in our life and stuff like this. And she's like, I think we'd want to take this on. I think this would be good. I think we got plans. We want to kind of build it, kind of grow it, see where we can take it, see what can happen. I'm like, you do know you're going to be a business owner now, right? You do know what this means.
Yes. So wait, so your in-laws bought it from Cascade Freddie?
Yeah. Well, they bought it from another guy. So Cascade Freddie had it for a year, who sold it to a guy whose mom wanted him to buy it because he was a golf pro. She didn't think golf pro was a good profession for him, so he wanted to buy it. Well, he hated it and he wanted to get out of it, so he sold it to my in-laws. Okay, so it's been kind of passed down before my in-laws got it. And
okay, all right, but it seems like it's stuck. Your in-laws have probably done a really good job building that brand. Yeah, and now you guys are taking it to the next level. Okay. Yeah. So quick, I keep interrupting just because I'm like that. But so let's talk about that transition from, your in-laws having it to them wanting to get out to then you and Tammy taking that over. How was that transition? Was it smooth? Was it tumultuous? Like you still have a relationship with them? Was it hard?
Oh, no. Okay. No, it was good. It was good. Okay. It was smooth. I mean, we worked it out, stuff like this. Luckily, all of her family members pretty much knew that was going to happen. Okay. Because we'd been there with it all the time, what I mean, stuff like this. Yeah. And everything. We were able to work out a deal on it, on what it should be, on it. And it went really smooth. It better because they live across the street from us. Oh, yeah, it better. That's going to be really so in our house, they live. I can look out look out our picture window and look in their picture window. So we're next door neighbors to make sure that goes well. Yeah, but no, it did good. It was a good transition. So it was, and so people already knew us in the business. My wife had been working there actually full time for 3 years before that because her job decided that it would be better done overseas. Yeah, that sounds about right. She was, yeah. So she was laid off there after 17 years, I think. Yeah. So then she transitioned into it about 3 years ago. So she'd been working up there full time for 3 years. So okay, how many employees did it have at the time when you took it over? My wife.
Oh, ta-da!
Yeah, and then my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, and my wife.
Okay, so 3.
Yep.
Say okay,
Yep.
all right. And then when you stepped into it, then your in-laws kind of stepped out, right? So now there's 2 full-time.
Yep. So I actually didn't step in until about a year later.
Oh, okay.
So we went ahead and we hired a couple people. Our niece works for us,
Okay.
Avery, and then we hired another gal. And about October last year, I was still working full time as the paramedic, kind of IT and stuff like this. I got in more of an IT role in our company, and she decided she turned in her 2 weeks notice about October on us. And if you know anything about retail, what's the busiest seasons?
Christmas.
Yes, November and December are the busiest times. She turned in her, and my wife's like, "Oh my gosh, what do we do? You know, what do we do?" I'm like, "Well, dear, here's the thing. Where do we want to take it? How do we want to get there?"
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we made the decision to bring me on full time, and I still work my other job 1 day a week. Go in there.
Yeah. Yep.
So
not now though, right?
Oh yeah.
You still do.
Yeah.
No.
1 day a week. 1 day a week. So Wednesdays I go in and I work my other job. So I do.
Paramedic?
Yeah, paramedic and IT. So yep.
Huh. I didn't know that. That's
and then I do volunteer paramedic in our hometown here. So
okay. Do you get benefits from that?
That's yes for the next year, because I was enough time with the company taking benefits. I could qualify for benefits for another year. So
wow. Okay.
So that's a big key important.
It really is. It's super nice. Okay, let me ask you this. How has being an automotive manager, mechanics type of thing, and paramedic help you, like equip you for what you do now at Freddie's Popcorn?
Oh boy. Well, I mean, when you're talking business is business, there's certain parts about business that is just transitions. No matter what the business is, it transitions over. You know what I mean? And as far as like anything else, everything I've done has been built off customer service. From an automotive mechanic, working on people's cars, you're in a small town, everybody, stuff like this. I mean, it's all built off customer service. Paramedic, I'm sorry, you're built off customer service.
100%. Yeah,
I mean, when you get there, it may be nothing to you, but it's the worst thing that's happening to that person at that time. That I'm showing up. So you have to be able to give that empathy, got to be able to give that customer service going through to it. So now transition to this, when you're dealing with other businesses, you're dealing with customers walking in the door, you're dealing with this. It's all about how you deliver that ultimate customer service to them, because that's why they come back. They like your product, they like stuff like this, but they have to like dealing with you also. Oh yeah.
It doesn't matter how good your product is. If they don't have a good interaction with you, they don't come back.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah. Nope.
Wow. That's crazy. Okay. So you've been running it now for 2 years because you bought it in 2022.
Yep.
How has that, tell me about some obstacles that you've had to overcome. And the reason why I say that, so for the people who are just tuning in for Jason, I get it. He's awesome. But like our company, Uncommon Wealth Partners, try to help people invest in themselves with their time, talent, and resources. And what we find is you get really fun outcomes and you get to learn a lot about yourself. And honestly, it proves out to be what I see the best investment of trying to pour in and create something, impact other people, and then have something at the end of the rainbow. And that's obviously what you're doing with Freddie's Popcorn. But so talk a little bit about that whole transition and maybe some obstacles, because I feel like as awesome as it is, as you see a business owner, you only see like the front facade of like, oh, everything's rosy and great, but they don't see the times where it just isn't going great and you just kind of want to burn it down, because there is that time, but the stuff you learn in that thing is almost like more like it's invaluable. So tell us a time when it hasn't been going well and you had to push through and yet you're now better because of it.
So when we took it over, we did this whole new rebranding campaign. Went out and got a marketing company. We did a whole new logo, all new look, kind of modernize it, rebrand it, kind of kickstart it on where we want to take it to, get that good foundation going. When I did that, we went out and got all new packaging. So I had a company come in, design all new packaging for us and everything like this. And we start rolling out all our new packaging. And then, like every business we hit with a supply crisis.
Oh, no.
One of our best-selling product, which actually isn't popcorn. Imagine that.
Really?
But our best-selling product, it's
Salt.
Huh?
Salt.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Cereal.
Oh, what?
So we do a product called it's called our Sweet Party Mix. I'll send you some.
Okay.
It's called Sweet Party Mix. We do it with or without M&Ms. It's like a caramelized Chex Mix with pretzels and stuff like this. And it's a very good seller for us. People just love it.
Huh.
So what I've learned from this is there is one manufacturer that manufactures all the different types of Chex cereals. No matter where you get it from, no matter if it's name brand or if it's
generic,
it's
coming from the same place. Good to know.
Yep. Whether it's Fairway, whether it's Hy-Vee, whether it's any place, there is a shortage on it. We actually ran out. We couldn't get that ingredient for about 2.5 months.
Oh boy.
So during this whole major retransition and stuff like this, I had pulled my best-selling product off the shelf for 2.5 months.
Oh, that'll keep you up at night. Let me tell you.
Yeah. So, So that would be one example. As you know, whether you're running a business, there's always little crises that come up.
Yeah, but that's a big one. That's a big one.
Yeah. That was a gut punch right then. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How long ago was that? Or so you transitioned in 2022, and then when did that happen?
That happened in August of 22.
Okay, so fairly new. Does not feel great.
No.
Did numbers show at the end of that year that 2.5 months really hit the bottom line?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see that with that product being pulled off the shelf. But we just, we worked through it. We worked with our supplier. They're able to get us, start getting us something, and go through it. But it's just.
Let's talk about this because this is part of that. You and your wife work in the business. So this is it. You are breakfast, lunch, and dinner, baby. You're in it. How were you guys in that crisis? Were you stressed? Were you nitpicking at each other? Or were you guys pretty unified? We got to figure it out. Yeah. How does stress manifest?
I mean, we do pretty good. So, it's like any, you have your days, but really having each other in there to kind of help bounce it off. So, before I got into it, where I was in full time and stuff like this, I was still part time on that. But, it's like internalizing everything. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's or bringing it home and stuff like this and trying to work out where now we're can both kind of bounce it off each other. And
it's lonely. It's lonely as a business owner at times. So it is nice to have your wife there, and understanding and then also trying to process through all that. That's good.
And my wife's a rock star at it. I mean, she just is. She goes up there and she keeps that place humming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's product coming out, keeping up with the stores and keeping up with everything, and she runs that up there and she just keeps that manufacturing going. So she's a rock star at it.
That's good. Okay. So you talked about some kind of obstacles that you had to overcome. Who has been instrumental in pouring into you, kind of mentoring you in this, now running business?
Well, I tell you what, I learned a lot from my dad.
Really?
Oh yeah. Good. From when I was working with him, my dad, my parents were serial entrepreneurs.
I love
they owned multiple businesses. They owned a pool hall where they did pizzas and had back in the 60s and 70s. And they had 9 pool tables and they had the original Tombstone pizza ovens from the 60s, and they did pizzas and things like that. Yeah, so growing up at home, I never had a frozen pizza unless it came out of a Tombstone pizza oven, one of the originals. Which still do the best way to do frozen pizzas.
Cascade, though? That's where it was Cascade?
Yep. Wow. Yep. It was called the Q.
Was your dad a pool player?
My dad did a little bit of pool. He could strike a ball pretty good. So
are you good? You're probably pretty good at pool, aren't you?
Nah, I'm not.
No. Okay.
Nah. That was they sold that before I ever came along.
Okay.
Because my parents had 4 kids in 5 years.
Oh yeah.
Then waited 10 years to have me.
Oh. Yes. Yes, Jason.
So they had that sold. They're like, it's too hard with 4 kids under 6 years old to run a business and have 4 kids. So they sold that. They owned a couple restaurants in between.
Wow.
And they got into the tire shop and
That is crazy.
So my dad, I learned a lot from him just working beside him. He's the ultimate in patience. He had the thing. He had the theory is, well, this may have gone wrong. Okay, we just gotta work your way through it. You can't,
That's crazy. That's cool though. Oh. Okay, so your parents or your dad, you really got a lot out of him. Mm-hmm. Really mentored you in that whole thing. So tell me where's Freddie's Popcorn? What is the trajectory? What's the future? Tell me all about it.
Oh, I have to start off with because I'm a marketing guy through and through. That's where I've cut my teeth is with marketing. I have a degree in marketing.
Right.
And so Freddie's Popcorn, we're building it off a family company because everybody knows popcorn. Everybody loves popcorn. Everybody has a memory with popcorn, right?
Yeah.
If I mention popcorn, something in your brain is triggered. You remember, sitting on the floor reading a magazine with a big full butter popcorn next to you or something like that, grandpa, grandma, something like that. So, as a company, that's what we want to build off. We want people to know those memories and remember those memories with their families and incorporate them within their lives, obviously incorporate Freddie's Popcorn into it, but, remember those times with their families, things like this as they're sitting down with our product, whether it's buying them off the shelf somewhere else, or coming into our store and visiting with us, we want to make sure that people relive those memories and it touches them, So
very much so. I love that. And that's the thing that popcorn, everybody has a good experience around popcorn, like you said. And so why wouldn't everybody have a good experience with Freddie's Popcorn? That's, I think, such a really cool idea and future for you. I love it. So if we get all that done, right now you're based solely in Iowa, right? Do you have ideas to go throughout the country, or what's that trajectory?
Yeah, we're hoping here in the future to be able to find a place and be able to get to where we get our FDA certification, so we can sell in all 50 states if we need to. Right now, we do have a website. We can ship out to 50 states through that, but be able to have our popcorn available to people at the neighborhood corner stores.
Yeah.
Stuff like this, get into different retailers, regional retailers. So we're in some of the Hy-Vees, the local Hy-Vees and the local Hy-Vee
that's a good one.
Stores around the area. And hopefully here, we just hired on a couple new people. So we'll be able to get me out there to be able to get a little bit expand outside the Dubuque area here.
Yeah, baby.
So.
There you go. Yeah. Okay, so if our listeners wanted to hear more about you or Freddie's Popcorn, how do they reach out to you?
Well, there's a couple different ways you can call us. Best place to find us would be on the web, freddiespopcorn.com. We do have an e-commerce site there. We do have a Facebook page, Freddie's Popcorn. Hopefully here within the next couple weeks, I'll be on Instagram, TikTok, all those other things. We're working our way up there, but freddiespopcorn.com is the best way to probably do.
Awesome. Well, Jason, thank you so much just for giving us a little bit of story behind the Freddies and all this, the wisdom you have. You and Tammy are doing awesome things, creating something really cool. And so thank you for taking this uncommon journey yourself and seeing the repercussions and the benefits from going an uncommon path. So thank you. Good luck in your future. I'm a huge fan. Love your popcorn. And until next time, go be uncommon. You've been listening to the Uncommon Wealth Podcast.
That's all for this episode, brought to you by Uncommon Wealth Partners. Be sure to visit uncommonwealth.com to learn more about our services. Don't miss an episode as we introduce you to inspiring people who are actively pursuing an uncommon life.